France will help Moldova counter Russian interference in its elections. The French Office of Digital Oversight and Protection Against Foreign Interference will strengthen its cooperation with Moldova's Center for Strategic Communication. French President Emmanuel Macron announced this decision as Moldovan President Maia Sandu arrived in Paris on March 10 for a two-day visit. During her stay, Sandu held meetings with representatives of the French National Assembly and Senate and participated in the Moldova-France Business Forum. The forum aimed to foster partnership between companies from both countries and attract new investments to Moldova. However, aside from economic matters, Russian hybrid influence on Chisinau was also a key topic of discussion between Macron and Sandu. The French president stated that Moscow is increasingly seeking to destabilize Moldova.
For 3 years, your country has been experiencing the full humanitarian and economic consequences of Russia's aggressive war against Ukraine. Moldova, whose airspace is regularly violated by Russian drones and missiles, also faces increasingly blatant Russian attempts to destabilize its institutions, particularly its democratic structures. We have decided to further strengthen our cooperation to enhance Moldova's resilience against foreign interference.
Among those reportedly used by Moscow to destabilize Moldova is Igor Chaika, the younger son of the former Russian prosecutor general. In the spring of 2023, he was sanctioned by the EU for allegedly acting as a financial conduit for Russian intelligence projects aimed at destabilizing Moldova and bringing it under Kremlin control. The US Treasury Department has also accused him of plotting an overturn in Moldova. On March 10, 2025, Putin appointed Chaika as deputy head of Россотрудничество, an agency that officially claims to promote Russia's humanitarian influence abroad.
According to the US Department of the Treasury, in 2021, Igor Chaika, alongside Dmitry Peskov, developed plans to undermine the Moldovan presidency and return the country to Russia's sphere of influence. A key role in these plans was assigned to the Shor Party and supporters of former Moldovan president Igor Dodon, who organized protests from the Current Time publication.
To enable Moldova to continue effectively combating Russian disinformation, Chisinau and Paris have signed a series of agreements. President Maia Sandu emphasized that Moscow's strategy is to exploit Moldova's vulnerabilities and turn the country into a platform for further aggression. According to her, if the Kremlin gains control over Moldova, it will use the country as a tool against Ukraine.
Moldova has learned firsthand that Russia breaks every promise. It pledged to withdraw its illegal troops from our territory by 2002. Never did. It cut off gas, violating its own supply contract. It imposes embargoes on Moldovan produce, ignoring trade agreements. It interfered in our elections, flouting basic bilateral principles. These aren't isolated acts. They are tools of a modern imperialism that seeks to keep nations in its grip.
Despite facing hybrid threats from Russia, Moldova firmly believes that Ukraine's security is also its own. As Sandu pointed out, Europe has a duty to support Kiev, as Russia's war against Ukraine poses a threat to the entire continent. She also stressed that an unstable peace would not eliminate this danger, but only prolong it, jeopardizing democracy, freedom and European solidarity. Reported by Katerina Bastun, Mikita Skoblikov, UATV News.
Chisinau is ready to provide Tiraspol with the necessary support to overcome the energy crisis, specifically generators, medicine and anything else that people need, stated the president of Moldova. Maia Sandu added that the unrecognized Transnistria could count on financial aid if the Russian military leaves the region. We are ready with the aid support, and this is very important to note, to provide financial assistance to the left bank. But this will only be possible after the withdrawal of the Russian army and the replacement of the peacekeeping mission with a civilian one, under responsibility of the UN and the EU. These are the main conditions under which we can come and provide substantial help. Let me reiterate, this assistance must come from our development partners, as we are still in a difficult financial situation. Maia Sandu, President of Moldova, from Newsmaker publication. After Ukraine stopped the transit of Russian gas through its territory, the Kremlin refused to supply fuel to Transnistria via an alternative route, unilaterally cutting off the region's gas supply. As a result, tens of thousands of people were left without gas. The region introduced rolling power outages, and there were disruptions in water supply. Local businesses halted operations. The Moldovan GRES, located in Transnistria and previously powered by gas, has been burning coal reserves. When Chisinau offered help with gas purchases, Tiraspol responded with categorical refusal. Instead, on January 14th, Vadim Krasnoselsky, the head of the region's occupation administration, went to Moscow. There he allegedly negotiated fuel supplies through a middleman company, which violates international sanctions and is illegal.
Tiraspol is not a player in this story. Moscow is refusing. This is their plan to exacerbate the crisis. Moreover, their cynicism and treachery are off the charts. I don't even think it will come to this. They have no plans to resume gas supplies. Yes, Moscow says that they are ready to supply gas, but Moldova would have to handle all the logistics, payment and delivery. However, Moldova Gas stated that they have received no information regarding this. Russia doesn't plan to solve the issue. They want the crisis, a severe crisis.
On January 17, 2025, Moldova's Vice Prime Minister for Integration, Oleg Serebryan, reminded Tiraspol that Chisinau's offer of assistance remains in effect.
Dar Tiraspolul.
We have only one request for Tiraspol. If you do not want to ask us for help, at least let us help you. Do not obstruct the movement of our ambulances to the region. Allow medical institutions to request the necessary support from their colleagues on the right bank. Allow us to deliver and install generators in hospitals and schools, and remove all obstacles you have created for the free movement of citizens on both sides of the Dniester during this critical period.
On January 20th, Tiraspol announced that they agreed to receive gas through the Moldovan state company Moldova Gas and were ready to pay for fuel delivery. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Yulia Hronovska, UATV News.